you so much for joining us
Thank you very much
this
for
morning.
having me.
And paper
Bright
towns.
and early.
I know. Very early, far too early. Paper towns.
Yes.
I got to see it. I know it's not out yet.
Good.
It's brilliant. I wish there had been a movie like this when I was a teenager.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. That's lovely.
It's sort of a great inspiring story, but also it's got a brilliant message behind it, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
What attracted you to the project initially?
The first time I read it, I really fell in love with the characters, first of all.
Because you play Margot, who sort of on the face of it is the girl that has everything.
Right.
But actually, as the movie sort of goes on, you learn that that's not really the case.
It's basically about, you know, kind of making up fantasies about people and seeing a person that isn't really the way they are, basically. And Margot, you know, in the beginning, you watch the film and you're like, oh gosh, and you as a viewer actually feel the same until the end, and you're like, oh yeah, it's a good point. It's kind of weird.
You also have a lot of fun because Margot is pretty outrageous, bit of a prankster, and I've read that you've said that you related a lot to her in your teenage years.
The reason how I really related to Margot as well is when I read the script, I'd actually said a lot of the lines before.
Really?
Which, in my real life, which is really disconcerting when you're reading a script. You're like, who's listening to me? Like, kind of weird. And then a lot of my friends as well kind of inspired me in ways, reminded me of her. My dad, you know that thing they do like the rich list? My sister and I edited like a picture of him and did this whole thing and stuck it over the thing in the rich list. He was like, what is this doing? And it said some ridiculous number, and he was just like, this is not true. Who told them this? I can't believe I'm actually, like, it was really funny. My father's so cute.
And I guess you must have got up to a lot because you were at boarding school as a teenager as well, weren't you? So I guess as a teenager it puts even more pressure on you potentially.
Yeah, boarding school was so fun, especially since there weren't a lot of us there. It was a really, like, kind of tight community, all ages, and everyone kind of knew each other. There was a lot of pranks that went down there, for sure. As well, because I feel like pranks, in this movie it's about getting revenge, but I use pranks as, like, for people that I love. You know, I love to torture people I love.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, because the theme of revenge is definitely there in the movie. What's your take on that? I mean, do you sort of believe that's a good way to deal with breaking up with someone, or, you know, or is it actually just better to move on gracefully?
It's not a good way to deal with it. I think the best revenge is being happy and success and moving on.
Margot is a real tomboy.
I'm kind of the same. You know, modelling is my job. It's what I do, but really I don't care at all about fashion. I love it, but it's not something that bothers me that much. If I had a choice, I wouldn't wear makeup and I'd just slump around in my pizza pyjamas.
I'd be more than happy if you're here in your pyjamas this morning.
Trust me, I wanted to, but I wasn't allowed to.
You made a brilliant quote the other day, which really impressed me, actually. You were talking about what characters you like to choose, and obviously you get offered a lot of parts now, but you said a lot of the parts you were offered initially were as the stupid girlfriend or the sexy blonde, and that you'd rather die than play a character like that.
Okay, maybe I'd rather die. But I like to exaggerate a little bit, being a thespian and all. In the beginning, I wanted to do anything, any role. But then after a while, I was suddenly like, but would I really do that?
Yeah.
I want to play strong female roles that girls can, like, look up to and be inspired by.
If you watch this movie, you would have no idea you were a Brit.
Yes.
Your American accent is spot on.
Thank you.
Is it true that when you were filming the movie, you never went back into your English accent?
Even when I had breaks and I went out of Charlotte for Thanksgiving, I still stuck in it. When I spoke to my parents or my sister, it was or my friends, they were very, they were really weirded out.
They must have thought it was a bit
They were
weird.
like, can you please stop? I'm like, I can't, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. But I actually, oh no, it happens. I stay in it and it comes and goes, it's kind of weird.
Because there's a great road trip element in the movie.
I really love driving. I've driven, but I don't have my license. I've just never had the time to get it. But I'll gladly sit while we do a road trip. I'll gladly be a passenger.
Now, this whole acting thing is sort of working out for you because at the moment you're filming Suicide Squad, which I know you can't really talk about because it's all shrouded in secrecy.
You know, acting is all about if people like the characters you play, and I would love to. It's always been my dream. It's what I felt like I was born to do, but you know, we'll see.
And you must have some great people to ask for advice, because we're very big fans at the show of Joan Collins.
She's so incredible. She did give me a lot of advice when I was just starting out modelling, but wanting to become an actress. She just said to kind of carry on what I was doing, and that if it was meant to be, it will be. You know, she was one of the people. She went to drama school at 16, but she was like, look, times have changed. You know, life is where you learn this skill, your craft. So keep experiencing things, and hopefully you'll see what happens.
Oh my goodness, you are definitely doing that. Cara, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Much.
It's an absolutely brilliant movie with such an important message.
I'm going to go back to bed. No, I'm joking.
Don't. You can't go to bed with that makeup on.
Okay.
It'd be very messy.
Because, you know, some artists really are like shot out of a cannon, and, you know, last month, you know, you were like playing in a club, and now you're playing in an arena.